You know that feeling when you find out you've been scammed? That's how owners of these 12 SUVs feel every time they start their engines. We're about to save you from making a $40,000 mistake. Ready to see which models should come with a warning label? Let's be honest, buying the wrong SUV is like throwing money into a black hole. We're talking massive repair bills that'll make your wallet cry, breakdowns that'll leave you stranded, and safety risks that'll keep you up at night. You see, not all SUVs are created equal, and some are just ticking time bombs waiting to explode. But don't worry, we've got your back. In this video, we're going to expose the 12 SUVs you need to avoid like the plague. We're talking about the models that'll suck your bank account dry faster than you can say lemon. So grab a seat and watch carefully because we're about to save you a ton of money, time, and headaches. Trust us, after this, you'll be the smartest shopper in the dealership. Now, let's talk about a Rogue SUV that's causing havoc. You've probably seen the Nissan Rogue cruising down your street, but did you know it's hiding a ticking time bomb under the hood? What if your engine decided to call it quits right in the middle of your next road trip? That's the reality for many Nissan Rogue owners. This popular SUV has a reputation that's anything but reliable. We're not just talking about a few minor hiccups here and there. We're talking about serious drivetrain issues that could leave you stranded and your wallet empty. At the heart of the problem is the Rogue's turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. Sounds fancy, right? Well, it's got a trick up its sleeve, and not the good kind. This engine uses something called variable compression technology. Now that might sound impressive at the dealership, but in the real world, it's just a fancy way of saying complicated and prone to breaking down. Here's where things get scary. This engine design is like a ticking time bomb. It's prone to internal bearing and link damage. What does that mean for you? Well, imagine cruising down the highway and suddenly hearing a weird knocking noise. Then your power starts to drop, and before you know it, your engine's toast. Complete engine failure is a real possibility with the Rogue, and it's happening to hundreds of thousands of vehicles. But wait, it gets worse. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is so concerned about these engine issues that they've launched an investigation. When the government starts poking around, you know it's serious business. And just when you think it can't get any worse, let me introduce you to the Rogue's partner in crime, the Continuously Variable Transmission, or CVT for short. This transmission is about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. It's known for premature failure, and here's the kicker. You can't even rebuild it. When it goes, and it will go, you're looking at a full replacement. Ka-ching, there goes your savings. So, what does all this mean for you? Well, owning a Nissan Rogue is like playing Russian roulette with your wallet. It's not a question of if it'll break down, but when. And when it does, you'll be facing repair bills that'll make your eyes water. Think about it. You buy an SUV because you want something reliable, something that'll get you where you need to go without any fuss. But with the Rogue, you're more likely to get familiar with your local tow truck driver than to enjoy any peace of mind on the road. And let's not forget the stress. Every time you turn the key, you'll be wondering, is this the day my engine decides to give up? That's not the kind of excitement you want from your daily driver. You'd think paying more would get you better quality, right? Well, we're about to shatter that illusion. There's a luxury SUV out there that's proof positive that a hefty price tag doesn't always buy reliability. In fact, it might just be the most expensive headache on four wheels. Enter the Infiniti QX50, the supposed cream of the crop in the luxury SUV market. But here's the kicker. This fancy ride is hiding a dirty little secret under its shiny hood. Remember all those problems we talked about with the Nissan Rogue? Well, guess what? The QX50 is basically the Rogue's fancy cousin, complete with the same troublemaking engine and transmission. That's right, folks. Infiniti decided to take Nissan's problematic turbocharged engine and slap it into a vehicle that cost nearly twice as much. It's like putting a ticking time bomb in a Gucci bag and calling it an upgrade. The QX50 uses the same variable compression technology that's causing headaches for Rogue owners everywhere. But now you get to experience those headaches in leather-wrapped comfort. And let's not forget about that lovely CVT transmission. You know, the one that's about as reliable as a chocolate teapot? Yeah, that's in there too. So not only are you paying premium prices for a luxury badge, but you're also signing up for the same reliability issues that plague budget cars. Talk about getting the short end of the stick. But wait, it gets better, or worse, depending on how you look at it. Consumer Reports, the folks who know a thing or two about reliability, have given the QX50 a big thumbs down in that department. They've basically said that buying this SUV is like paying top dollar for economy class problems. It's like ordering a filet mignon and getting a McDonald's burger instead. One review we found really nails it on the head. They said, buying an Infiniti QX50 is like paying a premium for a vehicle that can deliver budget car reliability issues. Ouch. That's gotta hurt, especially when you're shelling out luxury-level cash. Now you might be thinking, surely Infiniti has worked out the kinks, right? Wrong. These issues aren't just a one-off problem. They're part of a bigger picture that includes other vehicles sharing this engine and transmission combo. It's like Infiniti and Nissan are playing hot potato with reliability issues. And guess who gets burned? That's right, the unsuspecting buyer. Let's break it down for a second. You're paying luxury prices for 1. An engine that's prone to failure. 2. A transmission that's about as sturdy as a house of cards. 3. The potential for massive repair bills down the road. 4. The joy of explaining to your friends why your fancy SUV is always in the shop. It's almost like Infiniti is trolling its own customers. Hey, you want to pay more for the same problems you could get in a cheaper car? Step right up. But here's the real kicker. When you buy a luxury vehicle, you're not just paying for the car. You're paying for peace of mind, for reliability, for the assurance that you've made a smart investment. But with the QX50, all you're really getting is a fancier package for the same old problems. Now imagine paying for peace of mind and getting a potential fire hazard instead. That's exactly what's happening with one of America's most anticipated SUVs. Ford's new baby has a dirty little secret hiding under its hood, and it's turning adventure dreams into nightmares. We're talking about the Ford Bronco Sport, the compact SUV that's supposed to be your ticket to off-road excitement. But here's the kicker. It might just be your ticket to the nearest fire station instead. The Bronco Sport comes equipped with a 1.5L EcoBoost engine. Sounds impressive, right? Well, hold on to your hats because this little powerhouse is causing big problems. We're not talking about a minor hiccup or two. We're talking about a full-blown recall due to cracking fuel injectors. And when fuel injectors crack, you know what happens? That's right, engine fires. You heard that correctly. Ford had to recall these supposedly rugged SUVs because they might just spontaneously combust. Imagine cruising down the highway feeling all adventurous in your Bronco Sport when suddenly you smell something burning. And it's not your campfire marshmallows, it's your engine. As if the threat of your car turning into a rolling barbecue wasn't enough, the 1.5L EcoBoost engine has a few more tricks up its sleeve. It's like the engine equivalent of a magician. Now you see it working, now you don't. Owners have reported issues with overheating and turbocharger failures. So even if your Bronco Sport doesn't catch fire, it might just leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere. Some adventure, huh? And here's where things get really interesting. Ford has had to replace so many of these engines under warranty that it's raising serious questions about the long-term viability of owning a Bronco Sport. It's like buying a time bomb with a steering wheel. You never know when it's going to go off, but you're pretty sure it's going to cost you a fortune when it does. You buy an SUV like the Bronco Sport because you want something tough, something that can handle whatever you throw at it. You're thinking about weekend camping trips, off-road adventures, maybe even a cross-country road trip. But with these engine problems, you might be spending more time at the dealership than in the great outdoors. It's almost like Ford took the sport part of Bronco Sport a little too literally. They've created an SUV that's sporty, all right. It's playing a dangerous game of will it or won't it every time you turn the key. Will it start? Will it overheat? Will it burst into flames? It's like Russian roulette, but with your commute. And let's not forget the irony here. The Bronco name is supposed to evoke images of rugged reliability, of conquering any terrain. But with these engine issues, the only thing the Bronco Sport is conquering is your patience and your wallet. It's less built Ford tough and more built Ford oops. So what does all this mean for you, the potential SUV buyer? Well, it means that sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. Or in this case, the trail isn't always more exciting on the other side of the dealership lot. The Bronco Sport might look tough on the outside, but under the hood, it's about as reliable as a chocolate teapot in a sauna. While Ford's fumbling with fire hazards, Chrysler's cooking up its own disaster recipe. What do you get when you mix cutting-edge hybrid technology with good old-fashioned incompetence? The Pacifica Hybrid, a minivan so problematic, it makes the Bronco Sport look like a paragon of reliability. You'd think a family-friendly vehicle would prioritize safety and dependability, right? Well, Chrysler apparently missed that memo. The Pacifica Hybrid, once hailed as the future of minivans, has turned into a cautionary tale of what happens when innovation outpaces quality control. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should we say, the ticking time bomb in your garage. The Pacifica Hybrid's major issues are like a greatest hits album of automotive nightmares. We're talking hybrid system malfunctions that can lead to fires, engine shutdowns that'll leave you stranded, and enough electronic problems to make you think your minivan's possessed. Imagine this. You're on a family road trip, kids in the back, luggage packed to the brim. Suddenly, your high-tech hybrid system decides it's had enough. Your engine shuts down, right there on the highway. Now you're stuck, trying to explain to your kids why the future of family transportation is currently being towed to the nearest dealership. But wait, it gets worse. Chrysler technicians, the folks who are supposed to know these vehicles inside and out, are often left scratching their heads. They're struggling to diagnose and fix these problems, leaving owners frustrated and vehicles sitting in service bays for weeks on end. And let's not forget about the recalls. The Pacifica Hybrid has seen so many recalls, you'd think it was trying to set some kind of record. These aren't just minor fixes either. We're talking about serious safety concerns that have left many owners wondering if they've made a $40,000 mistake. You see, the Pacifica Hybrid's reputation as a family-friendly minivan is being overshadowed by its reliability challenges. It's proving that sometimes the greener choice isn't always the smarter one. You might save some money at the pump, but you'll be paying for it with endless trips to the dealership and sleepless nights, worrying about your family's safety. One report summed it up perfectly. The Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid has been plagued with a number of reliability concerns. That's putting it mildly. It's like saying the Titanic had a few issues with icebergs. Here's the real kicker. These problems aren't just inconvenient, they're downright dangerous. When you're talking about a vehicle designed to transport families, reliability isn't just about avoiding repair bills. It's about ensuring the safety of your loved ones. And right now, the Pacifica Hybrid is falling woefully short in that department. Think about it. You buy a minivan because you want something safe, reliable, and practical for your family. Instead, you get a vehicle that might shut down at any moment, could potentially catch fire, and spends more time in the shop than in your driveway. It's like ordering a state-of-the-art security system and getting a "Beware of Dog" sign instead. And let's not forget the financial impact. Sure, you might save some money on gas with this hybrid, but those savings quickly evaporate when you're facing hefty repair bills and potential safety hazards. It's like trying to save money by buying cheap tires. It might seem like a good idea at first, but you'll pay for it in the long run. The Pacifica Hybrid is a perfect example of why you shouldn't always jump on the latest automotive trend. Sometimes, tried and true is better than new and improved. In this case, Chrysler's attempt to revolutionize the minivan market has backfired spectacularly, leaving families with a vehicle that's more trouble than it's worth. While Chrysler's hybrid minivan dreams go up in flames, another American icon is facing its own shocking reality. Jeep, the king of off-road, has taken a detour into hybrid territory. But instead of blazing new trails, they've hit a massive pothole. How did Jeep's eco-friendly ambitions turn into a reliability nightmare? Enter the Jeep 4xe models, including the Grand Cherokee and Wrangler. These vehicles promise to combine Jeep's legendary off-road capabilities with modern, eco-friendly hybrid technology. Sounds great in theory, right? Well, as it turns out, Jeep might have bitten off more than it could chew. Let's start with the elephant in the room, or should we say the ticking time bomb under the hood. The hybrid battery problems in these 4xe models aren't just inconvenient, they're downright dangerous. We're talking about potential vehicle fires here, folks. Imagine cruising down the trail feeling all eco-warrior in your hybrid Jeep when suddenly you smell something burning, and it's not your campfire. But the fun doesn't stop there. These 4xe models are like a greatest hits album of automotive nightmares. We've got drivetrain failures that'll leave you stranded faster than you can say, trail rated. And don't even get us started on the electronic malfunctions. It's like Jeep decided to throw a bunch of wires together and hope for the best. You know it's bad when even the technicians are struggling. These hybrid issues have mechanics scratching their heads, trying to figure out what's wrong. It's like Jeep handed them a Rubik's Cube and said, "Good luck." The result? Frustrated owners watching their Jeeps sit in service bays for weeks on end. And here's where it gets really interesting. Remember how Jeep is all about conquering any terrain? Well, it turns out their hybrid system can't even handle a little cold weather. Many owners have reported poor hybrid efficiency when the temperature drops. So much for that winter off-roading trip you had planned. One report really nails it on the head. The Jeep 4xe models come with way too many unresolved issues to have any confidence in their ability to last over the long haul. That's putting it mildly. It's like saying the Titanic had a slight issue with icebergs. It's almost like Jeep is trolling its own customers. Hey, you want to pay more for an eco-friendly off-roader that might not even get you off your driveway? Step right up. But here's the real kicker. When you buy a Jeep, you're not just paying for a vehicle. You're paying for a lifestyle, for the ability to go anywhere and do anything. But with these 4xe models, all you're really getting is a fancy paperweight with four-wheel drive. Think about it. You buy a Jeep because you want something tough, something that can handle whatever you throw at it. You're thinking about weekend camping trips, off-road adventures, maybe even a cross-country road trip. But with these hybrid problems, you might be spending more time at the dealership than in the great outdoors. It's like Jeep took their "go anywhere, do anything" slogan a little too literally. They've created an SUV that's going anywhere all right, straight to the repair shop, and it's doing anything, except what you bought it for. And let's not forget the irony here. The 4xe name is supposed to evoke images of electric power combined with Jeep's legendary capabilities. But right now, the only thing it's powering is a wave of disappointment among Jeep enthusiasts. Speaking of disappointment, Jeep isn't the only one letting down its fan base. America's favorite workhorses are stumbling, and it's not just a minor hiccup. Chevrolet and GMC trucks are facing problems so severe they're sparking legal battles. Is this the end of the road for these full-size favorites? You'd think that when it comes to reliability, bigger would be better. After all, these are the trucks that built America, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because we're about to shatter that illusion. The Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra, once the pride of American roads, are now the shame of dealership service departments across the country. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should we say the ticking time bomb under the hood. These full-size trucks are equipped with a fancy feature called cylinder deactivation technology. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? Well, it's about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. This so-called innovation is leading to lifter failures and engine shutdowns faster than you can say lemon law. Imagine this. You're cruising down the highway in your shiny new Silverado, feeling like the king of the road. Suddenly, your engine starts making a noise that sounds like a bag of wrenches in a washing machine. Before you know it, you're stranded on the shoulder, watching your hard-earned money go up in smoke. Literally. But wait, it gets worse. These lifter failures aren't just inconvenient, they're downright catastrophic. We're talking about significant engine damage here, folks. Many owners are facing the prospect of needing entire engine replacements. It's like buying a house only to find out the foundation is made of crackers. And here's where things get really interesting. These problems are so widespread and severe that they've sparked class action lawsuits against General Motors. That's right. The company that once symbolized American automotive excellence is now spending more time in courtrooms than on assembly lines. But the Silverado and Sierra aren't the only ones in hot water. This issue is spreading faster than a wildfire in dry season. Other full-size SUVs like the Tahoe, Suburban Yukon, and Escalade are also caught in this reliability nightmare. It's like GM decided to play Russian roulette with their entire lineup. Now, you might be thinking, surely GM has worked out the kinks, right? Wrong. These issues aren't just a one-off problem. They're part of a bigger picture that's leaving owners and industry experts scratching their heads. One review summed it up perfectly. It is a bit upsetting to include these ones on the list because GM does make very nice full-size trucks, but ever since GM introduced their cylinder deactivation technology, their reliability has just gone downhill. It's almost like GM is trolling its own customers. Hey, you want to pay more for a truck that might not even make it out of the warranty period? Step right up. But here's the real kicker. Even if your truck is still under warranty and GM replaces your engine, there's no guarantee the new one won't have the same issues. It's like playing automotive whack-a-mole, but with your sanity and bank account on the line. And let's not forget about the other gremlins lurking in these trucks. We're talking about rough shifting and failures in the 10-speed automatic transmissions. Because why stop at engine problems when you can have transmission issues too, right? The sad truth is, these once reliable workhorses have become a gamble. You're not just buying a truck, you're buying a ticket to a reliability lottery. And let's be honest, the odds aren't in your favor. All right, folks, we've just taken you on a wild ride through the automotive hall of shame. These SUVs aren't just unreliable, they're wallet-destroying nightmares on wheels. But here's the thing, you don't have to be the next victim. Before you even think about signing on the dotted line for a new ride, do your homework. We're talking hours of research, poring over reliability data, and reading real owner reviews. Trust us, it's worth it. Remember, the true cost of a vehicle isn't just its sticker price, it's every dollar you'll spend keeping it on the road. Choose wisely, and your wallet will thank you. You see, a cheap car that's always in the shop isn't cheap at all. It's a money pit with headlights. So watch out for these lemons, do your research, and drive off into the sunset in a ride that won't let you down.